What's up, everybody? So look, man, there's a couple of things that we're gonna get into in this video, right? First of all, let's start off with this rumor that they're talking about they might overturn the draw decision and actually give Roach the win. How true this shit is, bro, I have no idea. Can they do this shit? Well, they overturned Devin Haney's loss and shit, right? So I don't know why they couldn't do some shit like this for Roach when yes, there was a mistake that was made in this fight, and it's clear, it's obvious to the whole world. But will they do it since Lamont Roach really isn't that much of a star? We'll see, right? We'll see. Once again, boxing is a lot of politics, bro, and it's of course just a lot of favoritism towards the boxers with the big names. So we'll see what happens with this shit, right? Look, man, me personally, I don't know if I like this whole overturning fights thing. It's kind of weird, bro, like, because how does it work with the bets and shit, right? With people are betting on these fights and then they get overturned. People are losing money. People already cashed out. Some people already lost their bread. And then the fight gets overturned. That just, for me, bro, that just kind of leads to like some chaos and shit, right? So what I think would be the better move or the best bet would be for these guys to catch these mistakes during the fight, bro, and overturn this type of shit after the rounds, bro. Like, after that round, somebody should have came out there and said, hey, you know what? We looked over this shit, and yes, he voluntarily took a knee, and shortly after a punch, and that's the key word, bro. Shortly after a punch was landed, he took that voluntary knee. So they should have corrected it right there and then, and we wouldn't have had this damn problem. But it is what it is, man. We'll see what they decide to do with this shit, right? And if they do decide to go through with this, and this would give, of course, Gervonta his first loss, and I wouldn't mind that shit at all, bro. Because look, I keep it real with you guys, man. I'm starting to hate these damn undefeated records, bro. I don't like this whole trend of undefeated records and shit, because for me it just seems like when these guys have that undefeated record, bro, they don't like taking risks and shit. It seems like when they get their first loss, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, and a little bit of pressure gets lifted up off of these guys' shoulders, right? And they're more willing to come out here and give us the fights that we want to see as boxing fans. So for me, if this does happen and Gervonta Tank Davis takes his first loss, I wouldn't mind it at all, bro, because I think after that, Gervonta Tank Davis is really going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to want to come out here and start taking on the fights that we want to see him take on, right? So with that being said, you got to kind of look at it that way, man, and kind of realize that it might be a blessing in disguise. There's something else that I want to talk about here, bro. I don't know if you guys probably have caught on to it already, and that is Gervonta Tank Davis and the fact that he kind of struggles with fighters, smaller fighters, right? Fighters his own height. As Lamar Roach, we saw this shit with Pitbull Cruz, and now with Lamar Roach, bro. Everybody was thinking that Lamar Roach was a smaller fighter because he was coming up from 130, but it was pretty clear that Lamar Roach was actually bigger than Gervonta Tank Davis, bro. But like height-wise and all that shit, they were pretty much right there. And yes, Gervonta Tank Davis did struggle with Lamar Roach, and I do think that it's this shit, right? It's because of the height. When Gervonta Tank Davis fights fighters his own height, he struggles, man. And I think it's because of this, bro. Look, Gervonta Tank Davis is so used to being the shorter fighter. He's always fighting these guys that are way taller than him. And I think he kind of mastered the art of being able to stay low and, dip underneath the punches, bro. Be sneaky underneath the guard and all that shit. Punch up, maybe dip underneath these taller guys' punches and counter a lot faster, because when he fights these bigger guys, bro, Tank Davis is more explosive and shit. This is why in this fight we saw Lamont Roach countering Gervonta Tank Davis, and it kind of like Gervonta Tank Davis was kind of shocked in a couple of those counter shots. Like he couldn't believe that they came at him so quick, and that is because he didn't have that advantage where he could just dip underneath these punches so quick or with such ease. That he's used to fighting these taller guys, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of thinking that might be Gervonta Tank Davis's kryptonite, bro. Fighting people his own size, his own height. And him not having that ease to dip underneath the punches and be sneaky and more explosive, you know. So that's kind of what I picked up with this shit. You know, we, like I said, bro, we saw this shit with Pitbull Cruz, and now we saw this shit with Roach. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's pretty tripped out. So we'll see what happens with this shit, bro. Like I said, as for me, if they overturn this shit, it's gonna be kind of like, like I said, bro, I don't really know if I like this whole overturning fights when it's already said and done. But if they do go through with this shit and they give Gervonta Tank Davis his first loss, for me, it's a blessing in disguise, bro. And I wouldn't mind seeing that shit because, like I said, I think Gervonta Tank Davis, having that first loss on his record, he's going to want to come out here and he's going to have a point to prove. That's what I'm trying to say, you know. But, yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Those are the key things that I wanted to talk about in this video. You know, let me know what you guys thought about all this shit, bro. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll be on to the next one, man. I'm out.